Hello, everyone. I want to say hi to Ella, Dan, and I want to say Rajesh. Sorry if I mispronounced that. Hi guys, thanks for joining me live. If you're in a chat with me, let me know if you can hear me well and if the music is too loud. Because I'm still testing a few things. As you can see already in the chat, if you're on YouTube, we've been testing also a few chat functions that I'll be super happy to try today with you all guys. Say hi to me, Elid, Ray, Victor. Thanks for joining me live, guys. And same thing for everybody that it's on YouTube. And it's my art. Ooh, Tyler the Creator. Yes, indeed. It was a portrait that I did for today's prompt, which is Frown, which I'll do some more today. And we're going to talk about anatomy. I want to show you guys how I think when I'm making expressions, and I have a few tips to give about that. I'll say hi to everybody. It's on Instagram, guys. Fair warning, Instagram, it's harder for me to follow the chat. So if you want to chat with me, if you're a chatter, I'm inviting you to join YouTube. It's going to be easier for me to follow up. But otherwise, I want to say hi to everybody that's already there. Sam says hi. IMBM. These names are hard to read. Core 3 Art. Hey. Thanks for joining live, guys. Edit sounds great. That's awesome. And so we're gonna test a few things in the chat today. A few commands that we added to make the chat a little bit more interactive, guys, and to give you some awesome free value. We have links for all our brushes, and I got a cheat sheet today that I want to share with you guys for facial expression. So yeah, if you see some stuff about butts in the chat, that's what it is. It's my art on Instagram. It's good, thanks. Been working on your rendering. That's awesome. So yeah, I'll be starting soon. And again, fair warning to all of you on Instagram. As of starting now, I won't be able to see the chat. So come join me on YouTube if you are a chatter. So all right. So yeah, today, Frown. For you guys that don't know, what is this live about? We are doing the Daily 5 challenge, which is a challenge that we have at Paintable, where all you have to do is to set a set of 5 minutes a day to basically paint a prompt. And the idea behind it, I don't think I explained that last week. The idea behind it is that I'm a strong believer, and you might be as well, that if you spend just a little bit amount of time every day, you will progress much faster than if you spend a giant chunk once in a while, So some people like to, have like an afternoon on a Sunday and they paint for like 5, 6, 7 hours. It's great. I mean, if you want to do that, definitely do this. But if you want to see progress that really can be measurable, doing just a little bit every day will pay off more. So 5 minutes every day, 10 minutes every day will give you more results down the line than if you set a time like giant chunk of hours. This is not the only reason why, though, I'm doing this. I love to also see art as being something that makes me feel better. And so if you do something that you really like every day, you're just gonna feel better. I know for me, if I pass a day without making an illustration, it's not the best day. But if having a hard day and I made an illustration that day, it's a good day. So hopefully you can relate to that. So yeah, that's the idea behind the Daily 5. So today, if you want to follow up with me, you can definitely join me in painting at the same time. I'll be talking about facial expression. If you want to make sure that you have a little bit of the cheat sheet that I'm using, there's a link in the description. Eventually there will be a link also in automation that we're working on. But if you're looking at, I have these cheat sheet right here that you can download. Most definitely on YouTube, there's one link in the description. If you're on Instagram, you may find a link in the bio. If it's not there, I'm sorry. You can definitely join us on YouTube. It's going to be in the description. And on these cheat sheet, you'll have like many expressions to help you with this, with the task at hand today. I'm going to concentrate on the sad face and the angry face. Both of them have a frown on them. So there's that. You're also going to need a few reference pictures. I have a few reference pictures right here. Some of you already recognize the one that I did, which is Tyler, the Creator. He's a rapper. He doesn't do family-friendly music, but I still really like him. Don't judge me. And I have a lot of other ones. We have Rachel Bradley here, which is a fellow artist that does amazing reference picture. If you want to go check her stuff, she's absolutely great. I think I'm going to do this one today. I'm in love with the expression of this one. It's just amazing. I found that on Pinterest, and then I have a few other reference pictures. So having a ref is going to help you. And yeah, let's just get right on. If you have any question, by all means, put them in the chat. I'll be like last week, because I'm doing this every week at the same time. So if you don't want to miss them, put that in your calendar. You can also join the tribe. Link in the description as well. The tribe will have a calendar event where you have the links and reminders of all of this. The time and all of this being the time and the links and all of this. DVRST says, David, can I use tips for traditional art because I want to draw good drawings like mouth and more? Yes, everything that I'll show you today will be applicable to any kind of medium that you want to try, because it's anatomy. It works on everything, even sculpture. So yeah, let's get on right in. So last week also, what I was doing this, I'm going to choose the reference picture. I'm going to choose this guy right here. I'm going to put it here so you guys can maybe see it a little bit while I'm painting. For the people that are on Instagram, it might get in the way of my sketch later. So yeah, if you were there last week, I was telling a lot of stories about how I decided to quit my job and become an illustrator, which was fun to share. You guys seems to appreciate it. And today I have another subject in head, because we are doing a whole month of portraiture. I shared yesterday a story, not a story, like a tip, a pro tip on how to get your first commission as a portrait artist, which is a very fun way, which is doing a portrait giveaway. And I want to talk about this because maybe some of you guys would love to know. The portrait giveaway is basically what you want to do is you need a social account of some sort, Instagram being definitely like one of the best that we can have right now. And you want to paste or post a post that basically will say, share this post to get a chance to win a custom portrait by me. And then people are sharing it, and what it does is there's chances that by getting shared there's more people that's going to start following you, so you gain followers by doing that, and you get more eyes on your work, and at the end of the giveaway you you give an offer, a limited time offer that says if you want to get a portrait by me, you have until this date to get X amount percentage off my regular price, whatever your price is. And you might get your first sale this way. There's no guarantee to it, obviously, but no matter what, you got nothing to lose except having to do one portrait for one winner. So it's a very low cost, it's very fun to do, and the payoff can be really, really big. So if you have any questions about that, let me know. And you can see all the bots coming on. This is Ray helping me with these automation that we've been setting up, so that eventually I'll be able to just, you know, talk about it, and you guys will be able to comment in the chat to get the links. So what I'm doing here, I want to explain what I'm doing here. I'll take off the reference because it's going to be just distracting at this point. I have it on the side. If you are on Instagram, you can come check it out there on YouTube. I'm focusing on shapes. I'll be talking about that during the portrait workshop at the end of the month. That happens 27, let me double check, 27, 28. It's a free workshop, 2 days of the weekend at a different time than right now, so it's going to be easier for everybody that's all around the world. We're going to that at, I want to say it's it's 9 a.m. Eastern time, 9 a.m. Eastern time on the 27 and 28. Again, if you are in the tribe, you'll have a reminder of these events. And I'll be talking about a few things: how to do your sketches with shapes, how to paint in proportion from observation. So yeah, if you want to join that. But I was about to say that because it reminds me of this, is what I'm doing right now is, it's a way that I really like to do, is you do portrait with shapes instead of like focusing on facial features. I'm seeing all these different shapes and I place them, and then I'll place the features on it. It's a very just loose way to work. It's fun to do, really. So if you haven't tried that before, I suggest it for you to try for sure. And then your job is just to kind of like looking at the different proportions and moving stuff around to try to get as close as possible to the reference. And by doing this, you'll have like different kind of results. It's a great way to experiment, really. So yeah, there's that. DVR ST, wow, 12. I can't wait to see how you're going to be when you're going to be my age. That's a great way to start. Congrats. I don't think I knew what I wanted to do at 12. I think mostly what I was doing is rollerblade. Rollerblade were really big at the time. Me and my friend, we would take our blades and blade all over the city and jump on stuff. I was drawing, but I was drawing mostly in classroom, which, don't do that. I think you should listen in class and draw, do both. So yeah, I'm having just some fun here, taking it very slowly with this sketch. Coming back to like the workshop that happens 27, 28. So the first day would be sketch, and then the second day will be coloring. So if you don't want to miss those, you can have them on your calendar. And again, apologies for all these different pop-ups coming in. There's some of them, we tested the automation, so they would pop in after a few minutes. and the other ones are just us testing stuff. So yeah. All right, let's talk about Frown a little bit here. So I have my cheat sheet right here for the people are looking, and I could bring the reference picture just in front here so people understand what I'm doing when I'm looking at this beauty. You know, I'm talking about shape and everything. You can see like there's like a clear triangle on the face of this kid with like action lines. Put that here. The action lines that goes like this, and I'm focusing on the muscles that are bulging. So understanding like the anatomy a little bit is going to help you here. It's not essential necessarily when you draw from observation, but if you want to draw from imagination eventually. So you have like a bulging, like this is like the muscles are like going all into that direction basically. They're getting raised up. And because he's young, there's not that many folds, but on an adult you would have a lot of folds there. So I'm thinking about all of this when I'm making my what can be considered like a loose sketch. And I feel like the face should be just smaller. I think that's better. Yeah. So yeah. I'm trying a new playlist today. You guys can let me know if you like it. I might switch it to jazz in a little bit. It's a little bit too lo-fi for me. So yeah. If you are in the chat and you're participating into the Daily 5, let me know if you are also participated into the character challenge last month, the 1 week character. We had such a great time last month doing the challenge, and we will be placing the channel in the tribe into the archive place. So if you want to go check the art of the participant, you still have a few more days. After that, it will be archive until we open the challenge once more, which should be in about a year. So just fair warning there. Danielle, hi. Thanks for joining from Cuba. I'm sure you didn't expect a fellow from this part. You know what? It's very late there. No, I'm not expecting people at this point. Thanks for joining in. Were you watching the Copa America? My wife being Colombian, we were watching Colombia winning over Uruguay. I think they won, right? I think she texted me right before I started. Let me check that. Colombia's in the final. Yes, they won, even though they lost one player. Red card happened. So yeah. DVRST, can you teach us more about eyes and nose, by the way? You can pronounce my name as Diverse? Is that Diverse? Diverse. These sessions are unfortunately not meant to have very structural teaching. So they're more like painting and chilling. So I'll be doing the prompt today. But if you want to learn some tips, like I was saying, the workshop that I'll be doing at the end of the month, 27, 28. I'll have some more concrete tips. Otherwise, you can always look at the Paintable YouTube channel. I'm probably having some tip about some anatomy there, I would assume. But today I'll be concentrating on just my prompt here. So yeah. Which is Frown. Friendly reminder here. I think the expression of that kid is just so nice. It's like all the bulging of the skin and everything. It's very cool. Where was I? I want to say Elith. I did the OWC button at the Daily 5 right now. That's cool. The Daily 5 will be there whenever you're ready. But I'll say that I definitely encourage having a little bit of a daily practice, even if it's just a few minutes. It helps for so many things: your progress, your mental health, your general happiness. Speaking for myself, but I'm assuming it's the same for everybody. All right, Sharon. Sorry, catching up with the chat. Hey, from Trinidad. Hi, David. Thanks for joining. Yeah, I'm glad that you find us as well. Motivation is a huge thing when we're artists. Having a good tribe, a good crew to help us, it's important. Johnny. Or is it Yoni? Honey? One of the three. Hi, Paintable. Greetings from Argentina. See Colombia in the final. Yes, exactly. Yes, the brushes works on Procreate. Since Procreate 5, I think every .abr file, which are Photoshop file, work in Procreate now. Sorry, ABR file, Photoshop file. Yeah, exactly. They work everywhere. So yeah, and yeah, Colombia versus Argentina. You know, like for me, this Copa America was great because Canada, which I'm Canadian, did pretty great, although got eliminated. They lost twice against Argentina in very nice fashion, 2-0. But still very proud of my fellow Canadian soccer player. I think they did pretty good this year. But now, with my wife in Colombia, I'm pretty happy that I'm having some cards. Wishing you the best of luck, obviously. But I'll be rooting for Colombia. Candace, hi. Welcome back. Definitely going to work on the Daily 5 after I finish some other stuff, but definitely drawing a lot though. That's great. And Danielle, yes, Colombia. Remember you told us about her. Yes. Trinidad as well. Ah, that's great, guys. Yeah, I'm doing these in a not such great time on close to the American continent, which I'm assuming Trinidad is. Sorry for my geography here. I don't know the entire planet by heart. I was very bad in geography until I started to travel, and now I'm just okay. I know some of the countries and where they are. But yeah, I would assume that Trinidad is also very late. So thank you for joining. Again, I encourage everybody to draw with me, frown, practicing some anatomy, having some fun, helping our mental health, all of these great things. So Canada did great. I should be proud. I am proud. Or, you know, happy at the very least. I wish I could have watched the games, though. I couldn't. I'm in Thailand, so it was hard. Sharon, thank you for putting the capital Q. Helped me so much when I know there's something important. There's a capital Q in front of it. Hey David, happy to be here on the live. Thanks. Sorry. Question. So, do we have to use triangle when drawing faces or expression? Would it help do shapes? Here's the deal. It's a great question, by the way. Here's the deal with like shapes and triangles. It's something you see and then you just trust your gut feeling. But there is like structures that you can learn, such as the Lumi, the Riley, the as arrowhead. I'll be talking about all of those on the 27th. So mark your calendar. But when I'm looking at like reference picture, and let's me show that to everybody. Like you can already see that there's a lot of like kind of like mini triangles here and there, and you can see that there's like a little bit of a triangle on the face here. And so when you see those things, you want to kind of like exaggerate them and be like, all right, so I could place the whole face in a triangle, and that's a good way. That's how I started this portrait. And then there's like a kind of a rectangle like on the head on top of it, and then there's like a half moon for the hair here, and then the entire hair kind of does like this kind of weird shape. And you put all of these, and sometimes you're gonna get some happy accident, but also you're gonna get close to your proportions. This is how I actually teach how to do like drawing from observation, is through shapes. Having the Azaro head, Loomis method will definitely help you, but I also feel that focusing on shapes helps a lot. Here there's one thing though. I feel like my proportions, whoops. I feel like my, not proportion, my perspective is kind of wrong. I feel like it should be more centered. He has a more centered face. I'm gonna try to match the reference picture. And now the jaw is not in the right place, but I can definitely just change the jaw. And I should have made a copy just in case, but yeah. I think that's closer. I'm wondering what's the culture of the reference pictures. I feel like it's something like maybe Mongolia, or because I feel like I saw some photography of different cultures in the world, and I remember Mongolia had like these kind of like ancestral jackets with sheep fur. So yeah, I guess it's not the only culture that has that, but that's my guess. I think that's not too bad. I mean, there's something wrong with the perspective still, but it's not too bad. I feel like this maybe could be closer. Just a little. And exaggerating this maybe a little. I think that's pretty good. Hi, Stephanie. Greetings from Venezuela. Thanks for joining. I know it's late. Sharon, say thanks. You're welcome. I've learned the Loomis method only. Thanks. Yes, you'll learn about the Riley method and Zaro head on the 27th when I'll cover sketching. So I'm inviting you to join us live on the 27th. He has all these little hairs over there. I feel like he has like a face that reminds me of like the kind of drawings that I would see on Akira. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about. Akira was, well, I'm assuming everybody knows here, but for those who don't know, Akira is an anime, I guess from Japan. And I don't know, there's something about his structure of the face that kind of reminds me of the style of Akira. If you're not Akira, let me know if I'm right. Dan, yes, awesome, Akira. Yeah, it was one of my, still to this day, one of my favorite. I have all the books. I left them behind back in Canada, but I have all the books. I think there's 6 tomes, pretty thick, because the movie only covers a part of the story. The full anime, when you buy the books, goes into a lot more details. It's just a great story, really. I think that should be closer here. Like, I don't want to lose the shape, the basic kind of, you know, there's like a shape like this, because I think it's the entire head. Has a shape. Also, I'll be showing this while I'm working. I'll be talking about it more precisely when the mouth should be closer. When I'm doing the workshop on the 27th. But what I'm using is like a technique that I like to call the paint and carve technique, where I use the eraser a lot to kind of delete stuff. And I keep always like a little bit of transparency at the back of the lines, and it creates just something that looks more like more professional, more work to it. Like I'm not like the best at drawing. I have a shaky hand for the most part, I'd say. And when you do like, or at the very least, that's what I'm seeing on work, when you're erasing just a little bit the lines at the back, it kind of helps to create some more depth to your drawings. So I'm inviting you to try that. I use a soft round brush for that, and I just kind of erase a little bit. This one is fun. Like he's got a lot of lines, but I don't want to put too much lines because he's not an old person. He's supposed to still look like young. That's pretty good so far, I think. Still, he looks a little bit older. I think that needs to be. I'm going to put this in liquify and play a little bit with the proportions. Oof. Realizing I'm painting on a very tiny illustration, I might just put it bigger after. Too bad. Let's put that bigger. Working with more pixels. Like here. Just gonna delete that. It's wobbly. And I'll try to create more refined lines. Like these days I'm trying to add a little bit more stylization to my illustrations. But I don't want to go into like the very popular Disney look that I think is great, but it's just not what I want to do. So there's that. Let me catch up with the chat real quick. You guys have any questions or anything? Let me know. I got the chat right in front of me. So yeah. Having quite a bit of fun with this one. Let me know in the chat. Do you want me to see? Do you want to see me do another sketch? I could do another sketch like this one, going through all again the because I think this one is done. It's ready to like add colors, or I could go straight into colors. I'll wait a minute. You guys let me know. You choose. I'll be fine with both of them. And yeah, reminder to everybody that if you want the sheets, the reminder sheets of facial expression, you can get it for free. Link in the description if you were not there at the beginning. You can also technically use automations. I don't know if this one is set up though. So we have one vote for color. One vote for color. Edit. Color once. Color twice. Color question. But anatomy workshop on the 27th, do we need to sign in for it? No, there's no sign up. I just strongly suggest for you to be on the newsletter list, and for that you only have to download one of our brushes. If you did it in the past, you're already on it. I'm going to send the email to everybody that's on the newsletter list. So if you receive emails from Paintable, you're good to go. If you don't receive things from Paintable, you can do two things. Download one of our brushes, but if you unsubscribe at any point, you might be unsubscribed for good. Unfortunately, that's how subscription works for newsletters. So if you're not receiving any newsletter and you want to make sure to receive the newsletter to receive the information for the workshop, just email us at hello@paintable.cc and we'll make sure that you receive stuff. Candace, weird one, but what is your favorite facial expression to draw? It's a great question. I'll answer that in a second. So we have two colors, one sketch. I'm voting for another expression. That's 2-2. We need one more to break it. One more for break it. Let me know. Let me know if there's someone else that wants either color or sketches. I might do both. I think that will help everybody. And for a reminder that the bot that you see popping in, that's us. It's Ray, our community manager in charge of student happiness as well. that is testing these awesome bots that we'll be able to use for the rest of the year. So I'm planning to do these lives for as long as I can. It's really, I appreciate being with you guys, chatting. I like the chill ambiance. The workshop on the 27th and 28th will be a little bit more structured, and I'll be teaching the entire time. But these are meant for having conversation, just hanging out with you guys, doing some awesome art, and having a great time during the daily 5. So I'm really enjoying those. Daniel says colored. All right, so here's what I'll do. I got a 50-50 here, so I'm gonna do a quick phase of color on it, but I'm not gonna render it completely, and I'll do another sketch afterwards, maybe a few more. So I'm just going to do like the base color. I like to start usually with just a background. I think on this one it's like a desaturated kind of blue-gray. So let's do that. If you want to use the brushes, as you can see, we're testing all these butts. If you don't have them already, you can either do exclamation point D5, so the letter D and then 5, and this is going to bring you to the D5 registration page that we've been building this week, because we're having such a great time with the challenge that we want to make it a bigger part. So we created a page, and in there you'll be able to download the brushes. They're free to download. You'll get all the same brushes that I'm using, and this one is called the D5 Flat Pastel, and it's just one with a little bit of texture on it that helps me for the backgrounds usually. And Danielle, yeah, I'll do both. I'm planning on doing both. I'll just do a little bit of color and then I'll go back to sketching. What I like to usually do after that is just choosing a flat color to do the entire shape, and I use that shape after that as an anchor for all the different parts of the face or character or building or pretty much anything that I'm drawing from there afterwards. So that's what I'll do here. But yeah. So I was talking when we started the chat that yeah, I shared yesterday or today, maybe yesterday, a tip on how to do portrait giveaways to get both followers and maybe your first commission as an artist. If you want to learn how to do this, you can just go into the tribe. The tip is in the announcement channel, I believe, and I just shared the tip as it's a story that, like, it's a tip that I experienced myself. I did it a few years ago, but I learned it from an artist I absolutely love called Sam Spratt, and he was doing that to gain a lot of followers at the beginning when he started his channel. He's not so much on social media these days. I think he blew up as an artist and been working for such big names that social media was just like an afterthought to him, where some of us are making our entire career through social media. I think for him, he was towards big companies and artists. He's doing great. He did a pretty nice NFT project as well. I'm not strong on NFT, but the way he did it, I think, is the right way to do it. He created his own project where he created a giant illustration where you could purchase pieces of the story of that, for what I understand, pieces of the story of that giant illustration, and so you have a bunch of people that participated in, like, it was kind of a story game, and then they would get an NFT out of it. I don't know if the NFT project was successful and if you made money with it or whatever, but the illustration and just the concept of of the project was amazing. So anyhow, all that to say that I learned this giveaway for the first time from this guy, and we're talking like years and years ago. And what he would do is he would send a post, an ad basically, to his Instagram saying like, you know, if you share this and if you follow and all these great things, I'll pick a winner at the end of X period, and make a portrait, custom portrait of that person. Or someone was asking if you can do pet portrait with this same recipe. Yes, you can. And I tried it a few years back, and it works well. People love to get a chance to win a portrait from an artist. So you get some interaction there. You got a great, you know, a great reason to also to interact with your audience, create a stronger bond with your audience. It's very low cost in the sense that all it's going to cost you is one portrait at the end for the winner. So very low cost, and you run the chance to get some more clients after that, because what you want to do is at the end of the period when you announce the winners, you want to say to everybody else that didn't win that if they want to hire you, they can, and you can give them like a good incentive, such as a 50% off, whatever percent off your regular price, and it works super well. So I saw a few people participating into the Daily 5 in the tribe, and I thought, once you have like a style that is repetitive, you don't have to be, you know, like the artist that you dream to be right away to start making money with your art. And if you're looking at your art and you're seeing like there's a little bit of a repetition in style, and I saw a few of portrait that was the case, give it a try. You know, why not? You got nothing to lose, and this is how you build a community around you as an artist. It's by doing these kind of things for your community. So yeah, I'll do both. So yeah, so anyhow, for everybody that wants to try. All right, so this is taking too much time. Let's try to push it up. So I'm gonna add the hue and variation colors of this by adding the red tones that he has on his cheeks. It's almost pinkish, darkish. But I might just add also before that, on top of that, some more yellow tones to light up the face a little bit. Using a saffron brush here, but I'll be using after that a hard edge brush. More and more I like to paint with hard edges. It adds a lot more life to a portrait. When you're doing things that are too soft, you lose the expression. So especially if you're doing like an expression, having a hard edge brush is going to help a lot. But for these little tone variation, I can just do it with like a saffron brush. It's fine. Dan, you blocked the first color. Yeah, so what I do is I like to create that flat color that's like the base color, and then everything is attached to it. So you see, like I'm just flicking one layer here and everything goes away. Like I could just move this and you see that the color stays there. That's the base of it, and then everything else is attached to it on top of it. And I'm just painting the skin, and I'm painting under the hair layer. So that's what I do. And I'm going to start Just adding some more hard edges at a few places and stuff. I'm really taking my time these days. I think there's always like a moment in the life of an artist where you need to slow down to learn how to get to the next level, and I think I'm in one of those periods right now. I feel like I've been just slower than I was a few months ago. And it's not because I'm getting worse. It's just I think at some point you need to slow down. You need to take the time to understand what you're doing. So if it happens to you too, just know this: you're not alone. It happens to everyone. Question from Sharon, joining Dan's question. So all the colors are the same layer? No, I got a layer for all of them. Like this one is on its own layer. But usually once I start painting on top of the lines, which happens later, and I start rendering, then I'm on probably just one layer. For portraiture specifically. Sometimes if I paint different more complex illustrations, I might keep the layers, have more layers. It depends. One thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to add just a base for the entire nose as a shape. That also helps to create volume, having just like a basic shape here, and I might even do that the same thing for the eyes here, and then I'll bring back the values into it afterwards. I'm gonna do the highlight here with some of these more light values. Looks patchy right now, but I'll be able to like fix it later on. I mean, the first color are used as clipping mask. Yeah, exactly. The first one that I showed you, the big one, everything is clipped to it. Dan. May James, how do you pick your colors? Do you color drop from ref? No, I don't color drop from ref. I don't do it because A, down the line, it's not going to serve me well. And B, my idea is not to create a perfect replica. And even if you like pick up colors, usually you're not picking up the right colors. You need to understand more about color zones and how light works as a whole, to be able to create more rich color scheme. Like I'm putting some red here, there's some pink, and that's not on the reference picture. I'm putting those because having hue variation will help down the line to create just something that looks better. And I know that there's, for example, redness around the eyes and pinks and whatever, so you can add these tone right away and then modify it and make them less saturated pink but more like towards the color of the skin. There's a huge part also that comes with experience. Like once you have learned how to do those, like I'm in this phase right now of the illustration where I'm like, oh, I could like stress about how it's patchy or whatever, or how the pink is too pink or whatever, but I'm like, nah, I'll know I'll be able to get there later on because I've been there. Like I experience that ugly phase so many times that I'm like, yeah, that's not a problem, I'll fix it later kind of thing, and I ignore it. I think there's a huge part of being a better artist is to learn how to trust the process. I know a lot of artists say that, they're like, trust the process, and I don't think people understand what trust the process means. Trust the process means don't try to fix things right away necessarily. You'll have the opportunity to fix it later. Try to follow the steps that you think are needed at the moment where you are in the process. I guess I just described trust the process, but anyhow, it made sense in my head, sorry. You know, and when I teach in my classes, I teach in steps that are a lot more like you can follow them with more ease. But because I internalize all the steps that I teach, now I can, I jump from one to another. And now I'm seeing, all right, like this value here could be like darker. And then I'm looking at the illustration and I'm like, maybe I want to work on, that little highlight here for now, because I don't know, my eye just got cut to it. And then I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm going to, add a little bit more pink on that cheek, because I feel like I'm seeing a little bit more pink here or whatever. And that can feel very like unsettling to someone that haven't gone through one of my class or any class that has steps that you can follow. Like the One Week Portrait Masterclass, for example. It's a very great class. There's 3 steps. You follow the 3 steps, you finish a perfect portrait. And once you understand these 3 steps in the right order, then you can jump from one to another and it becomes easier. And that comes just with, that's the practice part that all artists are like, oh, you just need more practice. Well, you need to know the steps first. And once you know the steps, practice becomes your best friend. But practicing alone, you can practice the wrong thing for a long time without knowing it, and you won't get better. That's just a hard truth. Because you need to first have learned those steps. So yeah, I'm having fun here. Like I'm adding like all these different tone, and I could go into rendering a lot more, but I'm gonna try to just kind of have like a basic, like I'm building it right now. Like I know I'm going to render it a lot more later on. So I'm just going to like add some more tones here and there, try to bring it to like something that is good enough, and then I'm gonna go to do another sketch, and then I'll come back to this one later on, just so we do sketch, because I think sketching is also very important to practice. I'll take this light here, I'm gonna put it close to the nostrils here to kind of bring that. There's a little bit here as well. Feel like there's like a patch here of light. It comes on the lights. I might just add some more there, kind of thing. A few lines here. Just to add usually I would put this like over the lines, but I want to just jump to the next step with you guys. So I'm just going to push it just a little bit more. And I'll add some volume to the hair quickly. And for this, I'm just going to add dark parts at a few places, maybe a few highlights, but that's it. Yeah, I'll add the highlights later. I think that's good for now. Just one last thing. I feel like this side should be more in the shadow. Alright, that's good for now. Let's do another sketch, shall we? I'll come back to this guy afterwards. I'm just gonna put it all into a very nice little group so that I can have the control to move it around with ease. I'll come finishing it later. Let's do another sketch, shall we? I think I want to do this one. I think this is good. For everybody that's on Instagram, by the way, I've been ignoring you. I'm sorry. I know there's a few of you guys there. Hi, and thanks for watching still. If you want to chat with me, it's just much easier on YouTube for me because I see the chat. Sharon, basic colors are different layers and blocked. Yes, so I had one color for the hair, one color for the skin, one color for the lips, I think. No, I think the lips I just, and then the other one was just like the hue and saturation, a little bit of light and shadow. So that's like 2 layers. But usually, like for the portrait of this guy, what I did is the hat was separate, the lips were separate, the eyes were separate, the collar was separate, and then I started to apply more detail, more rendering to it. Let me get some space here to do another sketch. You're welcome, May. My pleasure. Alright. So I'm going to do the same thing here for this one. I'm not going to go through the Loomis technique and do like a circle and then all of this. This is all great, but because this one is so expressive, there's a lot of bony places. I think I'm going to go and just kind of try to get the entire shape of the head kind of as a go. And it might help, it might not, but that's the experimental part that I was talking about earlier. Where I'm like just testing new ways to start my sketching. Like it's almost like a contour line, almost. And if you're asking yourself, why would you do that instead of having a structured way to do it? I got no good answer to that, except that I like to try stuff from time to time. This is how I get better, discover stuff. I'm able to teach these tricks afterwards. All of that great reasons. So yeah, nostril here. She's got a very serious look and some very angular features. Sorry. I'm already regretting it, not starting with something more structured. I'll get there, I'm pretty sure. That is amazing for a fast one. So ready to see the next one. Well, thanks. Appreciate it, Dan. But I'd wait if later you finish rendering that one. Would be nice to see the final piece. Yeah, I'll definitely post it somewhere, socials, or I'll try to push it as much as possible live with you guys, so you guys can see the entire process of it. Let's move that here. There's a bit of an angle if those two eyes are like that. She's got kind of a very angular eyebrow. Eyebrow there. You got the shape of the eye here. Something like that. Her nose should be higher, I believe. Maybe that needs to be smaller. And yeah, now the jaw makes no sense, but that's okay. I'll just delete it and start over. So that's where like anatomy is also helping, you know, like this round shape that I'm putting here, you see it barely, and there's the lips there, but I'm not trying to paint the lips right away, because if I try to paint the lips right away, I might have a hard time placing the structure of the rest of the face, so I'll wait for that later. Just placing some landmarks, some bony shapes that I see. That was what I was talking about, you know, where I delete and then I come back and I paint, and it creates this like softness of the lines, which I really like. So yeah. So if you guys are with me right now, and would like to test the automation that we've been working on, you can go ahead. It would help me, so we can see if it works. you could type exclamation mark D5 in the chat to see if the registration page for the challenge comes as a link. And if you do this, I would be grateful to you. Because I'm planning on doing a lot more of these lives, and having these kind of like automation will definitely help down the line. So yeah, big thank you to you and to Ray to help me meet these. I feel like the nose is too big. Thank you, Candace. May. Yeah, seems to work like a charm. That's great. Yeah, all right, awesome. Awesome. Technology. Swear to God, I am not the best at this. So I'm eternally grateful for the help that Ray gave me on this one. That's awesome. All right. So the mouth, I'm gonna place just a basic shape. I feel like the mouth needs to be big and have like kind of that shape. I'll place the details in it later on. I'll place the chin. There's definitely something happening with the eyes. They're not in the right perspective. I might go and try to fix that right away. That's better. Slightly. Alright. Classic example of focusing on too many details. Let's try to finish the bulk of the head. And this will also help me with being able to place the rest. So, get the jaw, get the neck here. Try to get that hair. Has a really cool shape. The shapes are all kind of wrong now, but I'll be able to fix that, I think. Like trying to play with like basic shapes for the perspective and the proportions is super useful. So I'm looking at like this shape, that's the right one. Maybe the entire thing needs to be going a little bit lower. I'll flip that later, but pretty sure there's something happening with the eyes. Yeah, all right, awesome. Let's go change the music, shall we? Some more chill jazz. I don't know for you guys, for me jazz always reminds me of like Christmas. Like, I don't know, old black and white movies. And this kind of, yeah, brings me back into like a joyful holiday mood. Yeah. So yeah, Frown. So when you're doing like expressions, just understanding the basic like frown proportion. Like right now I'm having like these charts that comes, if you downloaded the free cheat sheet, then you already have those, but the direction where everything bulge on the face, because you have this skeleton, right? And then under it you have or over it you have the muscles that are attached to it, and they will always pull in certain directions. So for example, like this one, I know it's pulling down. The eyebrows are going towards, you know, these direction, and knowing this helps. So Candice now want a hot cocoa. I totally agree. And May says, yeah, jazz. Yeah, I just love it. It's like a happy vibe to it. When I was living in Montreal, I would love to go from time to time to some of the jazz bars are there. Just listening to music. Yeah, this one is giving me a hard time, by the way. I don't know if you guys can notice. It's a tough expression. I thought I'd be able to do it faster, but there's so much happening in all the face. I'm gonna make this sketch bigger because I'm painting pixels at this point. I think I'm gonna try to simplify the shapes a little bit and see if that helps. Like you have like a space for the eye there. You have the bulging of the eyebrow. I'd flip the original as well. Give me another understanding of it. That seems better. Because it's in the shadow, I don't have to put like too many like detail there. I'll be able to like fake details later on. But I'm spending just a little bit more time on that expression and the eyes, because when you're doing a portrait, that's really what's important, you know? Am I thickening the eyebrows? Because I love to do though. Where is the chat cheat sheet, by the way? There's two ways you can get it. A, there's a link most definitely in the description if you are on YouTube, but you can also technically, maybe Ray already set it up. Try do exclamation point face. That might bring the link. If it's not set yet, it will be set next time. Otherwise, you got a link in the description most definitely. And if you are on Instagram right now, again, sorry to ignore the chat on Instagram. It's just too hard for me to do all these chat, and I haven't found a way to put all of those chats at the same place on Mac. Because, yeah, tools are not the same for Mac users and PC users. And so, yeah. So yeah. Let me know if you found it, Sharon. These eyes are giving me a hard time. See that? This one is fine, this one is not fine. Because that's how it should show. I think that's the banger angle. It's all in the shadow too. Someone I know uses OBS and it helped, but I have to send that info later. Yeah, by all means, if you find a solution on how to put the chat of Instagram and YouTube on the same chat in OBS, it would be extremely helpful, because I don't like to ignore half of the stream. That's kind of counter of what I'm trying to do with those lives. Let's try to connect with you guys. All right, I think I'll just be painting over this one, so I'm going to stop kind of doing too many. Sort of kind of fine anyway. Let's finish the lips and the hair, and then I'll jump to I want to finish the other one in color. All right. I think that's as close as I'll get for now. Let's just do a basic ear. And let's do this amazing haircut of hers. I'll put in one last time in liquify. Just move a few things. Let's zoom that in. I'll put it closer here. You know what? Let's just make a selection first. Put into liquify. I feel like the forehead needs to be like a little bit more angle. I feel like the chin could be exaggerated just for a little bit more of a caricature style. It's pretty good. Nose could be a tiny bit higher. Maybe the lips can be a little more there. It's pretty good. Maybe this side could be a tad bigger. That lower, that there, that push. Before, after. Small touches. All right. Put it right here for now. That's pretty good. Catch up with the chat real quick. My sketches definitely don't look this polished. Seems more line work to me. You know, that's the beauty of the technique that I'll be teaching in great details on the 27th. Reminder to everybody, the workshop. Like you might not have seen, but I do 3 steps. I do 3 steps within one, which is to concentrate on shapes with a loose sketch. And then I do a basic rough like reading of the graphic shapes. Then I do a loose sketch based on those graphic shapes, and then I try to sketch what could be called the final lines. But I never go like more defined than this, really. I see a lot of great artists out there that are able to like very, very thin, very delicate ink line. That's just not my case. I'm more of a rough sketch kind of guy. Let's try to finish the rendering of this one today before I end up the call, because I really like it the way it looks. I'm gonna paint over the lines. I'm gonna start just do a little bit more rendering, I guess. This is the part that takes a bit more time. I'm still going to add some more like hue and saturation. Sometimes you have like just you see like little different tones. And in fact, sometimes it's just a picture that is just like low res, and I think that's the case here. Like there's probably no green here, but I'm seeing green, so I'm adding green just to add just a tad, or maybe it's desaturated blue or something. So yeah. Let's do some rendering. I'm zooming in quite a bit here, but I also have the screen right there. I want to precise that because if you have only one screen, you should not try to zoom too close. That's, unfortunately, it's a privilege I can get myself to because I'm able to have a vision, but a vision of like the smaller piece. What you could also do is having like the navigator. The navigator is like this little window here. If you want on Instagram, so here it is. And so you can like have a look at it, and looking at the small version of your illustration will always help to kind of understand if you're going in the right direction. And so yeah, now I'm gonna be painting over the lines using things like the smudge tool and mixer brush tool to start blending. And it's usually the phase where I'm having a hard time talking at the same time. So if you see me just real concentrated, shoot me a question and I'll get back from my trance. But yeah, we all experience that, where we're just like so concentrated on one piece. We lose track of time, track of people, track of everything to just get into the zone. With that little jazz playing. Yeah. And maybe I can tell stories of commissions. I did a few commissions with portraits myself. Actually, one of the biggest commissions I ever had was about portraiture. It was for a stamp for the government of Canada. I'm now officially part of the Canada history because of it, which is pretty cool. And I also did a few commissions with, I did one at the very least, with a website called Art Corgi. I don't know if you guys know it. Art Corgi, Corgi like the dog. Where they are having a certain amount of artists and they are selling their skills. You get a commission fee based on the prices that you set, and they keep a chunk of it to cover their services, and you get the rest. And it was a nice experience. It's just at the time I was busy with other stuff, so at some point I had to let them go. I think they let me go because I kept like refusing to do the portrait that would come. But if you want to give it a try to like Art Corgi, and there's other sites I'm pretty sure that I'm forgetting right now. It's just a nice way to get your wings as a professional artist. And it's very nice because you get to receive once in a while just an offer into your email to make a portrait, which you would probably do for fun. At least that's how I was thinking of it. And if you don't feel like you're like there yet, the best thing you can do then is invest in classes. And I don't only say that because I think I got some great classes to, propose you, but also because as a professional artist or a hobbyist, we should always be learning and keep being curious about new techniques. Otherwise, our style stays stagnant, and we don't evolve. And definitely try maybe the 1 week portrait masterclass if you want something to help you with this. I don't think that, maybe there's a link in the description, but in that class it's a 3-step. It goes sketch, rendering, and detailing, because it's really all you need. The rest being mostly fluff. No, not fluff, sorry. Fluff. So yeah, there's that. And if you have any question about whatever I'm doing, please let me know. Yeah. It's also like the place here, I could add just a few like brush stroke of like texture, like there's a few texture brush in the one in the DD5, brush pack. Sorry, I cannot do two things at the same time, I swear. I start rendering and my brain goes so yeah, you know the trap where you have 1.5 million brushes and you use like 5 of them, but you keep thinking that you need another brush to do better work, because we're all doing this. The cool thing with the brush pack that comes with the DD5 is you have just the right amount of brushes that you need for a bit of texture, if you need some texture, some nice clean line art textures, and so you don't have to lose time trying to look for brushes. You always have one to help you. I feel like my eye should be closer on that side, and at this point I may have to put the entire face together to be able to move it. Yeah. So usually what I do for these, I create just a top layer. There's a shortcut for that with Command Alt Shift E in Photoshop, and it creates like a copy of everything that's under it. And now what I could do is just move the eye with liquify, and then I'll take that and kind of copy it. So from there to there, and then I'm just going to take this, make a copy of this, and delete what's in there. So I'm left with just like the part that I need, and I can just continue painting on top of it. So yeah. For all of you guys that are in the Americas, thank you so much for still being with me. I know it's getting late. Candace, also anyone who feels their art is bad, remember all of us started with that house back in the day. You know, the one, it's just a bunch of squares, right? Oh yeah, right. No, I know what. Yeah, I know which one that you mean. Yeah, exactly. Uh, art is a journey. It's really just a question of enjoying the journey. Question from May: do you paint over your lines, or just blend the smooth? Yeah, I'm painting over my lines right now. So I'm painting over my lines, and I'm using the tools that are in the kit, and one of them is it's the smudge tool. That's the one that I just destroyed my work with. But Control Z. So the smudge tool is great because if you have a line, let's say like I have a line right here, I can just take that smudge tool and brush over it, and it's going to like blend all the values together. So sometimes it's just great to do it like this. And I can also like just blend these. I also use the mixer brush tool, which is another one that blends. And what I like about the mixer brush tool is you can blend with the direction of the muscle, or some direction to help you with to create movement within your rendering. So like for example, like around the chin here, or maybe I want to blend this within the direction of the cheekbone here. So you can change the direction. So that's one that I really like to use as well. I could repaint this, for example, within that direction, and so on and so forth. So those are the two that I'm using. Otherwise, I'm using the hard edge brush for the most part here, painting over my lines. And all I really do, the most part, is I concentrate on shape design. It's something that I enjoy more and more, is learning about shape design and how to accentuate things. So yeah. And yeah, that is a cool trick. May. It's also good because this way you can keep some of the lines to help you render. I feel like this needs to be higher. To help you render. So yeah. But this new style of rendering that I'm doing right now, that I've been doing pretty much all week, there's a little bit of new in it, where I'm trying to paint with, like I was saying, with like shapes, with like just bigger shapes, really, to understand I want to have something that looks a little bit more, I guess, traditional. So like what you have here, for example, where you have like very definite shapes kind of thing. And I think it helps a lot. So, but I'm not quite there yet. So I experiment with two techniques. The one where I kind of, I have things a little bit more blended, and I blend a little bit, and then I repaint some hard edges. And then sometimes at the end, what I do to help me is I have some line art adding at the end completely, just to like a few areas. So work in progress. Yeah, and then we have the butt that shows up once in a while. But I guess this is it's a good time to talk about the DPA, guys. So last month, I launched the Illustration for Imagination program. This is the program where I spent 8 weeks with my students, help them to paint one illustration 100% from imagination. And we are already starting week 3. It's been 3 weeks already. It's just amazing. I'm having a ton of fun with them. It's a private community. And once I close the doors, unfortunately, they are staying closed. And I do this to concentrate on my students, but also to not disturb the people that are working in there super hard. But if you missed it or couldn't join for any of the good reasons that you had, the Digital Painting Academy stays open all year long. And in there, you have a lot of great classes as well to help you do pretty much the same thing. The big difference between the two is you won't have me going over your work on a daily basis for 2 months. But if you want to have that, then next year we'll open the doors again to IFI, I'm pretty sure. But in the meantime, the Digital Painting Academy is there for you if you need it. I like where it's going. Just such great different colors in that portrait. It's super nice. Yeah. If you want to know about skin tone, I also created a very nice free cheat sheet that you can download. I don't know if I have a link downstairs. Downstairs. I don't know if I have a link down in the description, but if you're looking on the Paintable blog, it should be in the resources somewhere, I think. You can go check the blog, and if you want a link for the blog, you can do !blog, I think, in the chat, and a link should pop up on screen. Thank you again to help me to test these. So yeah, there's that. I'll add some more details to the hair later on, but taking my time here. It does pop up on the blog too if you sign up. Yeah, that's possible. We have a few pop up on the blog that promotes our brushes, which we have for free. It's portrait brushes and a few cheat sheets. So yes, thank you for the reminder, Candice. It is true. You know what? Don't need that now for now. So I'm at the phase with the portrait where I'm like, can I do 2 things at the same time? Wondering when to stop rendering to start adding like a little bit more details. And by details, I'll be like just adding a little bit more like eyelashes and hairs and tweaking the edges. That's what details is. You tweak the edges between light and shadow. That's all there is, you know. Hair is not about painting hair. It's not about painting eyelashes. It's not even painting about like, I don't know, freckles. It's about making the edges between light and shadow crisper at the right places. That's what detail is for me. You just saw the sheet on the Pinterest. Yeah, that's also possible. We've been sharing them a little bit everywhere. Just download it both. Love these cheat sheets. I'm glad you like them, Candice. Thanks for letting me know. Thank you, James, or May. Is May your first name? James your last name? Did I get correct that? Let me know. Speaking of name, here's a slice of my personal life. I changed name recently. Because when I was born, my dad, for a reason that kind of unknown, was not on my birth certificate. And he wasn't until a long time ago, until a month ago. Well, no, it's technically still on my birth certificate, but he will. I had to first take his name. So now I'm having his name, which is Como, attached to my name. And the reason why I've been doing this, because, you know, he's my dad, no matter if I have his name or not, is that I could get my French passport, because he is part French. And me and my wife are thinking about moving to Europe sometimes next year. And that passport could help a lot with bureaucracy. So yeah. I'm still probably going to use just David Beliveau for simplicity's sakes, but technically I'm David Beliveau Como now. So it's my. Alright. Thanks for letting me know. Okay. I think I could twinkle these. You know what? I'm gonna give it a flip. One flip. Whoops. One flip. And see if there's some stuff to be modified, which maybe liquefy. You know what? I'll take this. And I'll put these two together so I can see on the side the original. Let's move a few things. I'm not looking to be perfect here. That's never my intent when I draw anything. For as long as it feels like the character, I'm good to go. I might paint that dark line there though. It shouldn't be there. But what I'll do, I'll move that for Instagram people. What I'll do is just move a few things, and then I'll come back and add some detail to this. Feel like I could put the neck a little bit thicker maybe here. Maybe the jaw could be squarer here. I'll try to add some details to the chin as well. I feel like it's missing some texture there. Pushing this side a little. Also here it's missing some colors. It's crazy like when you flip something, now your brain really like was fixating on the same thing for the entire time, and then you flip it and then all of a sudden you are seeing different things. Alright, so at this point I'm working on one layer only, but what I'll do is I create top layers and I'm adding to it. Let's push the highlights, let's push the occlusion shadows, a little bit of the shapes. I'm going to delete that dark line there, create some separation here. Something like that. I feel like he's also like, he has a little bit of dirt on his face. So adding some texture like this could be interesting. I might even use this texture texture brush actually to do this, which could be interesting. Okay. All right, zoom in a little. So the picture that I have that working with is extremely pixelated. So the idea for me is not to necessarily paint the details that's from the picture, but just getting inspired by the values and trying to paint with both my understanding of anatomy, my personal style, and what I'm seeing all at once. It's like darker zones. It's kind of patchy at some places. It's like it's like a bit of green here. Usually like a gray might do the job, just a little bit of gray, which brings the reflection of his surroundings. And I might just do like a bunch of like little dots and then coming with the smudge tool and smudge tool. I'm just going to blend so they're not so crisp to create just that texture a little bit. So these are the kind of details I'm doing right there that I like to add. That's what I was talking about when you say like, when I was saying details are like the contrast between light and dark. That little like reddish tone that's like a little bit darker. You know, instead of going like pure black, I'm using that as a value to bring the contrast that I want. And I might push the light even more, a little bit here, to create the highlight. Maybe a little bit over the lip as well. Some on the lip here. And sometimes the smallest, almost looking insignificant, like little contrast and value will create just the best looking like details, final touches. I feel like the shape of the mouth here could be just a little bit more rounded. I'm also going to like accentuate sometimes the colors, like adding a little bit more of a yellow tone when I see one. A little bit more of a orange tone if I see one, and so on. Like here, for example, it seems like you have like a zone where it's just more saturated. I might try to just kind of paint that there. That's all part of the details. Maybe thicker line for here. So yeah, that's pretty good. So I'm painting still on like separate layers to go and see like the details I'm adding. But as I go, I'm probably going to merge stuff together. Yeah. Next week we are doing skull. And it's probably one of the things that I love the most painting. It's just such a fun object to paint. So looking forward to it. I'm wondering if I'm going to add details in the eyelashes because it's a kid, and you know I have my son here. He's 8 months old, and what you realize is when you're young, your eyelashes are not eyelashes, your eyebrows. Sorry, the hair is so small that it looks only like it's like just a shade. Really, there's like no details. There's like no small eye hair. It is getting spooky season, so that will be fun. Yeah, I can't wait for the actual spooky season. There's still a few months to go, but we're 100% doing the pumpkin carving challenge this year. If you don't know what that is, we have many challenges that we're doing every year. The pumpkin challenge is one of them, where the entire community, and very much myself included, are working on painting pumpkins, you know, because why not? You know, and I was thinking about it this week, and I was trying to understand like why do I like to paint pumpkins so much? And I think for me, you let me know, but it reminds me of like being a kid walking in the streets of Montreal for like the trick-or-treating kind of thing. And it's just, you know, I'm 42 almost. It's the only way I can remember what trick-or-treating feels like, really. I mean, I'll have the amazing experiences with my son now, and I'm looking very forward to it. But I still have engraved in my memory just these, you know, costumes and houses that are decorated, and how we go into the streets. And it's just like I think I made like, you know what, like we're human being as a general rule, we're not good at remembering things. We're like changing the stories in our head. I think it looks better in my head than it would probably was. Maybe people were just putting like a pumpkin and that's it. But I remember having like a few very cool, very well designed houses that were spooky, and I don't know, painting pumpkin just brings me back. Like the fall also. I've been living in Thailand for a few years now, and there's no seasons here. I'm not complaining about it because I'm done with winter, but there's something about falls. There's something about the leaves, and I miss it a little bit, that season. And so when I paint pumpkins, it just reminds me of that, of that time. So there's something there. So I'm looking forward to paint pumpkin with all of you guys. It's gonna be great. For the pumpkin carving challenge. Can't wait. Yeah, me too. Changay. Sharon, now you can create a family costume. That's true. Believe me, my wife is already on it. She has all these ideas. But I do a haunted trail for charity. So, that's cool. What's a haunted trail for charity? It's like you actually like create a trail with like decors and stuff, and people go into it, and there's donation and stuff. That sounds super cool. There are so many cool family costume ideas out there. I'm not sure what we'll do this year, but we will do something. If she's listening to the live, she's going like this. We will do something. And I'm excited about it. I'm excited to be able to, like one of the cool experiences I think of being a father, it's a cliche to say, I mean, mother, father, parent in general, is to, become a child a little bit again, and being able to, go through a Halloween season with the excitement of once being a kid. I already made like a bunch of Pinterest board with ideas of custom myself, so it's not just my wife, it's also very much me. You scale people for money. That's amazing. I think they do that also in a few cities. I saw it in Montreal, where there's like they're creating like a haunted house, and then you pay to get in there. I don't know if it's for charity. I'm hoping it was. That would be great. And then they take pictures of you, and it's the best pictures because the expression are like so true. Like you see something, you make like just, there's no faking it. It's like this guy thought he was about to die, and he's got so scared to jump, and you take a picture right then. Is that the kind of stuff that you're doing, guys? That's awesome. That's awesome. I didn't see anything here, but Thailand is very, very strong on horror movies. There's a lot all year long, and especially during the Halloween season. I'm not very strong on horror movies. Here's an anecdote for you that's going to make you laugh. This week, I was making some research for next month prompt list, and I was looking for like the word Tusk, clue of what we're going to do, I guess, next month, and all that to say that there's a movie that popped in, and it's called Tusk, and it's a horror movie with Johnny Depp in it, apparently. I didn't watch the movie, but just the trailer and the imagery that I saw like kind of freaked me out so much that I had to watch cartoon in the afternoon to calm me down, because I was just too like grossed out. I don't know if you guys saw the movie, but it's basically the story of like a guy that gets abducted by kind of a crazy person, and that crazy person decides to make like experiment on his body to transform the guy into a sea lion, I think, or something like that, or the one with like giant tusk. And the image of that creature that he creates just it gives me chills even today. But I'm a huge fan of like alien movies and I don't know, shark movies and stuff like that. But the gross like fleshy, so yeah, let's stop talking about it. Ugh. That was just too hard. Kind of says, but yeah, I'll do the SFX makeup face painting actually with 3 other folks to do the logo for it and made a whole mascot. Oh, that's super cool. To run, shut people from getting out of the trail and actually lost in the woods. Oh, that's bad, especially if it's at night, which I'm assuming it is. Walrus? Yeah, maybe a walrus. Yeah, maybe that was the, yeah. Oh, the Beetlejuice movie? Yes, I can't wait to watch this. Oh yeah, I'm actually supposed to watch the first movie with my wife. She never saw it. No, Beetlejuice movie is not a horror movie. It's almost like a comedy, really. I had the toy figurine when I was a kid, and yeah, I really liked it. It's funny because I mean it's not a horror movie, but it's not really a kids movie neither, you know. So there's that. All right, I'm fidgeting with like details here. I'm gonna try to wrap it up and try to finish the details. We're gonna add some specular highlights on a few places, and in the hair and stuff. Here's for the lips. I haven't seen the Tuts movie, but I just googled it. Yeah, sorry, you shouldn't. That movie is Edward Scissorhands' hand. That movie? Like the Tusk movie? I don't know. No, definitely not. Beetlejuice, though, I still have to show it to my team. Yeah, it's a classic. It's definitely a classic. I absolutely love that movie. All right, let's add just a little bit of love on this and call it a day. I'm going to make this, whoops, darker in the ear. There we go. Something like that. Something like that as well. That's pretty good. Let's just add a, I'm gonna add a brighter occlusion shadow, specular highlights on the nose than there is on the reference picture. But it's going to bright up the face. Make the shadow of the nose just a little bit more prominent. Keep the nostril there. Zooming in, zooming out. I really love the portrait, you know. I think it's all these colors these days. I'm very fond of adding these mixtures of colors. It's pretty good so far. And eyelashes, there's not going to be any eyelashes there. That stays there. I'll add just a few highlights where the lips are. Just to say. That's it for now. I might change the highlights here a little bit for longer things. That's pretty good. Let's do the hair. So for the hair, I don't want to go into too much contrast. I'm going to take the ambient light And I'm going to just take, like just a patch here for this. And then I'll take a hard edge brush and kind of just make a line there. Delete what's in the occlusion shadows. And I'm gonna use after that the mixer brush tool to just soften up a little bit the edges. That's pretty good. I might even soften up the edges a little bit more. And I was looking at this section here. It feels almost like there's like a green in it. Like a green yellow. Very dark green yellow. Yeah, something like that a little bit. And yeah, let's add some highlights. I'm on a separate layer now, so I feel real confident that I can paint and delete. And so I'm going to do that dance where I paint a little, delete a little, adding these small details in the hair to add a bit of value. And I'm trying to do it in mostly shapes. So yeah, shape design. Good night, Mai. Thank you so much for joining us. See you next week. Same to you, Sharon. Thank you so much. Hope to see you next week. I'm gonna try to wrap this up so you guys can see the end of this when you wake up on the replay. Also because I got to do lunch for me and my wife. I'm pretty much the cook in the house, except for the breakfast. I love to cook, so it's not a problem. And I think just a few more touches and I'm done. Sorry, that's the face where I'm having a hard time keeping a conversation. Very important here, what I'm trying to do is like I keep like things very like gestural, but I try to also like stay within the direction of the hair when I'm doing my brushes. So that's a thing. Always think about the direction of where the hair is going. It's going to help you with placing these details slowly. See you next week, Candace. I think that's pretty good so far. What do you guys think? Although everybody went to bed now. Who's left with me? Let me know. And let me know if you're in America, in Europe, in Australia, think we had some people from Australia last week. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. I think it looks cute. I'm trying to see if I can add some more stuff to it, but no, I think it's pretty good. I might just try to see if I can add like small glittery, like a very bright highlights, like little touches that sparkle on the skin. Thank you, Celestine. Philippines, Stefani, hey, hi. Thanks for joining. It's midnight for you, right? Jesus, yeah, no, it's late. Thanks for being there still. But if you have to go to bed, I totally understand it. We'll catch up next week. Little bits of sparkly things. Because I feel like the portrait also have like these like little sparkly bits at some places. Might not be super needed, but just to add a little bit. Good night, see you next week. I think that's pretty cool. All right, I guess I'll be finishing this one another time. I'll just try to finish this one. Like here I'm seeing like a little bit more orange. Ella, how you doing? Working on my new OC, so it's great to follow you along and keeping company. Yeah, I'm sorry though. I think you're catching me up on my last few minutes. I've been already here for 2 hours and a half, and I need to jump to other stuff. But yeah, today was a nice session. It was very fun. So thank you so much for everybody that's still with me if you're in America. And we have substitution for the self-portrait prompt. A substitution for the self-portrait prompt. Yeah, you could do just a portrait of someone else. That's fine. I know some people don't like to paint themselves, but you know, I would encourage you to do still a self-portrait. Because it's fun to be able to have like a repetitive subject that you can see through the years. I'll be posting during the self-portrait one, I think a post where you'll see like my very first portrait, which was terrible, super terrible. Like you picturing something right now? Picturing worse than that for sure. And my last one that I'll be doing this week, right? It's fun to see as you go, how your skills are growing. So yeah, maybe just try it. You know, it would be just a great way to keep track. And if you really don't, then yes, you can, you know, make a portrait of someone else. That's 100% fine. The goal of the challenge is to keep up the momentum and you know, practicing. So if you don't feel like doing a self-portrait, then anything else will definitely help you to keep on growing your skills. And with that being said, sorry to everybody that just joined in, but I really have to do, although I could really paint on this forever. I just really love it. But finish is better than perfect, I always say, and I really believe in it. So I'm going to call it done. Thank you so much for everybody that joined me this week. This was super fun. I think tomorrow is the self-portrait, right? So if you're making a self-portrait or if you're making a portrait of someone else, looking forward to seeing you in the tribe. If you haven't joined the tribe yet, there's 100% a link in the description. I'll be definitely sharing mine tomorrow. And with that being said, I don't know why the music stopped. That's kind of weird. Okay, I guess, give me a second here. This computer. All right, there we go. But yeah, all that to say that I'll see you guys next week. Next week we are doing skull, and I think I'm going to approach probably that into like doing a lot more sketches and practicing perspective. I think doing a skull in perspective is just a great way to practice perspective. So I'll probably be doing this with you guys. So I'm looking forward to see you next week. Thanks for showing up. So yeah, have a great week. Happy painting. Happy daily 5, guys. Talk to you soon.